Good morning, everyone. This is James Carpenter with Country Living. Today we're going to remove some stumps. Obviously you can see we're using the tractor. That tool that looks like a triangle is called a stump removal tool. You'll see teeth on the edge of it. Those teeth are designed to help rip the roots loose. These are those bushes we cut out in a couple videos back. Now we're going to get the stumps out of there. I want to take this area right here and I'm going to put some 4x4s in and make me a shelf, so to speak. And I'm going to put in a raised garden. Now, later in the video, I'm going to show you our regular garden. But there's a couple problems with the regular garden. One, when you have a garden of that size, it's very difficult to keep up with the weeds. And two, I don't have access to water where that garden is. So we're going to go with raised gardens that are close to the garden hose. And when you come out of the house, you'll be able to just stand there and pluck any little weeds out and that. Looks like this stump's trying to come out. There we go. I sprayed those weeds right there last weekend. They're starting to curl, but they're not completely dead yet. If you watch that video on me spraying weeds, I had talked about my measuring method. I may have not put enough chemicals in there, but they are technically dying. It's just a slower die. We had quite a few of these stumps. They were along the back side of the garage also. I didn't film over there, I just filmed these stumps here. But we got all the stumps out but 3. And those 3 are right in front of the propane tank. And I don't want to stick this stump removal tool down in the ground like you see there and puncture the propane line. So later this morning, after I get done with this video, I've got a really heavy-duty hand jack, and I seen this on another YouTube video where they took one of those jacks and they put a chain around the stump and they started jacking it up to pull it out. I'm gonna give that a shot and see if it works. You know, it's best if you can dig all the way around the stump instead of working it from just one side like you see here. But that's not always possible. There's things in the way, and actually I was trying to keep from messing up my grass too much. I was trying to stay on the dirt a little bit. Right here I'm kind of pulling it backwards just to see how attached it still is. And it looks like it's still pretty well attached. Ooh, it might be out. Nope, still hanging on. Roots, some of the roots obviously stay in the ground. I'll have to probably cut those off by hand. There's a little one. It ought to pop out pretty easy. Yeah, it had one try. Now, if you look in the background there in front of that propane tank, that's where the 3 stumps are that I'm going to try to pull out with a jack later this morning. I put these shrubs in years ago. I came across a deal. There was a I want to say plant farm, but I think there's another term, greenhouse, something along those lines. It was a company that had a boatload of different kinds of plants, and they probably either just sold them to the public or they used them for their own landscaping business. I'm not sure what the situation was there. But they went under, and a friend of mine knew them very well, and he got access to it. So I got all these plants for about $5 a piece, which was really cheap. And you'll see them all over my property. I mean, we spent a whole day planting one day, and these shrubs were one, but they just got too big. They were blocking the view from the kitchen window to the backyard, and I needed a place for a raised garden, so it was time to make the decision to get rid of the bushes. I think they call them arborvitaes. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly or not, but I believe that's what they were. There, I put the chain on it. I just finished that one off by pulling it out of there. Here is the pile where we dumped all the stumps. You can see some of the other ones in the background there. That is going to be one big bonfire when I burn that pile of brush. We usually do that on the 4th of July as the fireworks end. We had a big bonfire. Now this is the garden, a little bit unrelated to removing stumps. But yesterday, I went out, my son and I, we dug all the potatoes, got them gathered up, and then I took the plow and I plowed the garden, and then I went in there with the rototiller. Now the sunflower seeds, they're still in process. Here is the back side of the building, which we didn't film removing these stumps. So I'm basically just back dragging the dirt for right now. This whole area right here, this green little patch where the tractor is right now, that's all going to go away soon, and the parking is going to expand into that area. It's amazing how much work you can do with a small tractor. Could you imagine raking all this by hand? You'd be there for hours. And that bucket kind of drags it back and smooths it out real quick like. Now that weed right there on the left hand side of the screen right by the bucket, that one and the other one, they got sprayed. They look like they're dying, but they're not dead yet. That's what it looks like finished up. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's all going to get dug out. I'm going to leave an area about 2.5 to 3 feet wide up near the building, just as a walk area. Now we're back to that area where we were filming the stumps being removed. I'm going to straighten out some of them holes we created there. Alright, so that's how that area turned out. Still got a few roots hanging out. Now here, first thing that particular day, I went out and I moved a big pile of mulch. You know, I get about 2 loads a week of these wood chips. And this area right here needed attention. So what I'm doing is I'm blowing the wood chips out of the grass. And I'm also going to knock down some of the high spots where I basically dump that with the tractor. That blower will blow those chips around and level them out. It saves a lot of raking, basically, is what I'm saying. Now right here on the corner of that shipping container, that's an important area right there, because the lawnmower has to fit through there, and it's got a 60-inch deck. So I need enough clearance to be able to go around that shipping container and have the shipping container on one side and the mulch on the other side. So right here, this whole area, you can see where I'm trying to blow it back. I want to establish that distance that I need. That grass is Kentucky bluegrass. A couple, 3 years ago, I replaced all my volunteer grass with Kentucky bluegrass. And I was very fortunate. I did it right before the prices of everything started to soar. So the grass seed I bought was 50 pounds was roughly $100, and it's pretty much doubled in price since a few years ago. Alright, the video is going to end soon. I would appreciate it if you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button. If you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button. And of course, a lot of people talk about the notification bell.